This is a true story. It happened to a friend of mine. Clem was a tour guide down under in Australia. Now, when you think of Australia, you probably think of macho men with corks hanging off their hats, hassling Sheilas and wrestling crocs. But Clem's not like that. Just didn't inherit the genes. Actually, Clem's a bit of a goof. Well, okay, a real goof. But the lad can't help it. And not a lot of luck with the ladies either. Clem could never win a round with a gator, but he could pin a koala in 10 seconds flat. Anyway, as an Aussie tour guide, Clem takes tourists from all over the planet in his Jeep and shows them the wonders of this rough and beautiful country. Ayers Rock, dingoes, didgeridoos, you name it. One day, he picked up a family of Brits. Mum, Dad, real yahoos who like nothing better than a pot of tea and a raunchy joke. But Clem's put up with worse. He'd just grin and bear it. The fact they had a knocked-down, drop-dead gorgeous daughter didn't hurt. Well, for Clem, it was love at first sight. And for Lisa, well, her loser radar nearly blew off the scale. But hey, all's fair in love and war, and Clem was ready for battle to win this pretty little Sheila's heart. So Clem pulled out all the stops. Caught a lizard for her, tried to surf, even took them to see some ancient Aboriginal cave drawings. Mum and Dad are real impressed. But Lisa? No go, schmo. She won't even talk to him. A right real snob, that one. But as I say, Clem's a fighter. And that night, as he threw another shrimp on the barbie, he got a great idea. He convinced Mum and Dad to take a special four-wheel drive adventure deep into the Outback. See some kangaroos, just the four of them. Of course, the parents accepted. Nothing they'd like better than a photo op with a kangaroo, much to Lisa's horror. They started off bright and early the next morning in Clem's Jeep. Off they went, deep into the rocky Outback. Unfortunately, there's not a roo in sight. Dad started to complain, but Clem patiently assured them they'd soon be surrounded by herds of them. Lisa's in the back seat, of course, so Clem spent a lot of time looking in the rear view instead of where he's going, and eventually, bang! Not to worry, happens all the time. Clem insisted the family stay in the car out of the sun, while he, all manly-like, started changing the wheel like an old pro. Now, Clem was on his knees, screwing in the bolts, and he gets up to give a wink to Lisa, when staring him in the face across the Jeep's hood was the big, hairy mug of a kangaroo. Both of them let out a bit of a shriek, and they both keeled over. Now, Mum and Dad piled out of the Jeep and stood around the kangaroo, poking it to see if it's alive. Looks like you've given him a heart attack, laughed Dad. Lisa recoiled, horrified. Clem, desperate to make the best of the situation, agreed. What a photo op! Clem propped up the poor beast against the Jeep, and Dad pulled out the camera and handed it to Clem. Just like my best mate, crowed Dad. Let's get your sunglasses on him, Clem. Lisa just stewed in the Jeep. But Clem's a fighter, remember? So when Dad figured Clem's jacket would make the pic even better, Clem obliged, hoping this would make Lisa laugh. A little, at least. But Lisa, she thought it was disgusting. Suddenly, the roo gave his head a shake and bounced away, still wearing Clem's jacket and shades. Could it be, for once, Clem's victorious? Lisa laughed and laughed, music to his ears. He finally had a chance with her. That is, until Clem realised the keys to the Jeep were in the jacket, and the kanga was now a bouncing speck on the horizon. This is a true story. It happened to a friend of mine. It was a remarkably long, hot walk home, and Clem never saw his beloved Lisa again. I hear they didn't even tip him either. And next time Clem saw those cave drawings, he noticed something he'd never seen before.